Morning.
Morning.
You're live, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I want to call the Audit Committee meeting of the Audit Committee of the Alabama State University Board of Trustees to meet to order. Having done that, I'll have the invocation, just a brief moment of prayer. God, we just thank you for the opportunity today to come together to organize, God, so that we can see the advancement of Alabama State University. God, we just ask you to come into the midst of our meeting so that we are sure that we are doing things that are according to your will. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
President Ross, would you please establish a quorum
Sure. Chairwoman McKenzie,
here?
Trustee Edwards,
Here.
Trustee Gore, Trustee Means, Trustee Ware.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you. We are now to the adoption of the agenda. The agenda has been presented to you. I ask a motion for adoption as printed.
I so move.
Thank you. It has been moved. Is there a second, Trustee Ware?
Second. I'm sorry.
No problem. Thank you so much. It has been moved and properly seconded to adopt the agenda as printed. Roll call vote, President Ross.
Chairwoman McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Edwards,
Yes.
Trustee Gore, Trustee Means, Trustee Ware.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Trustees, you have received the minutes from the January 17th committee meeting. Those are before you for adoption. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes as printed?
I so move.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded to adopt the minutes for the January 17th, 2025 meeting. Roll call vote, President Ross.
Chairwoman McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Edwards,
Yes.
Trustee Gore, Trustee Means, Trustee Ware.
Yes.
Motion carries, Madam Chairwoman.
We're now down to the discussion part of our agenda where we will talk about our outstanding audits. I know Ms. Pritchett is on to help guide this part of the conversation, but I would like to start out because we have recently received or have the completion of some of the audits, the financial statement audit, the Trust for Educational Excellence audit, as well as the single audit. Those processes have been completed and have been distributed out to all of the trustees, particularly as is the expectation of our auditors, Warren Averett. We will invite the auditors to attend our May meeting where they will do a debrief of the audits, particularly the financial statement audit as well as the single audit. As well the others as well. But I do want to take a moment just to talk about these audits that have been completed, and then I will yield the floor to Mrs. Pritchett to talk about what's still outstanding. As we talk about the financial statement audit, and then the single audit, I just want to draw a distinction, well, as well as the Trust for Educational Excellence. I want to draw a distinction, even though the word audit is in the title of those. The financial statement audit is one that is not done to look for exactness. The auditors use a level of materiality to determine what is tolerable, that our financial statements have not been misstated or materially misstated to where they will misrepresent the position of the university. So in a sense, there's a bit of leeway for for that particular audit that, that it's not looking for exactness. With that, there were 3 findings that were identified during the audit. Those have been itemized in the report that you have had for review. Are there any immediate questions related to the financial statement audit that need to come before the committee for question? Hearing none, as I put in the email to you all, that at least two of the three findings had already been resolved, even at the time of me submitting my report to you on March the 28th. And subsequently, that last finding has been resolved as well. So I think it is really important to celebrate everyone at the university. None of these things happen with a single person, but all of those who are involved in the financial statement audit. And I know that is very heavily driven by Ms. Pritchett and the of Office of Business and Fiscal Affairs. And I'm sure I didn't get that right, but I want to say thank you to your office, Ms. Pritchett. Next is the single audit. The single audit, although it has the word audit in it, it is truly a compliance audit. And in compliance, the objective is it right or is it wrong? Did you do it or did you not? There is really no leeway for any type of tolerance or materiality as with the financial statement audit. This is the audit where we have historically seen a pattern of issues that have come out of financial aid of the last several audits. And I think it's really important. I asked before we started if Dr. Francois was on the call. Dr. Swoop is on the call. Mrs. Pritchett is here because this is the first time that I can recall in recent years. I won't say ever because I don't know the full history, but in recent years that for the single audit, we did not have any findings. There were zero findings, which says that we have paid attention to the internal controls at the organization. We have made sure that we are doing what we say we need to do. We've identified any areas where we need to make improvements, whether that's been with technology, with processes, with people. And it goes a long way when you have external entities picking up your audits, your financial statement audit, your single audits, because this is where we have all of these federal programs, these federal dollars. And in one of our previous committees, and I was looking for Dr. Petty, I can't find her right now, is I was wanting to make the connection that where we have to achieve a greater level of managing grant dollars and federally funded dollars, thank you, Dr. Petty, in order to reach higher levels of the university credentialing. It's important that we're able to show that we are good stewards over the dollars that we are receiving, that we don't take it lightly, that there is a tremendous amount of responsibility that goes along with this. So again, Dr. Francois, Dr. Swoop, Ms. Pritchett, all of your teams who are collectively working together, it shows and it matters. And I just want to say thank you so much because your attention to detail has paid off and I know will continue to pay off. So kudos to you for such an amazing accomplishment. And then last but not least, is the Trust for Educational Excellence audit. It too is a compliance audit to ensure that we are complying with the decree related to the lawsuit of Knight v. State of Alabama, and we did not have any findings there. I've said a lot. And one other thing I want to point out related to the single audit, it goes back to Dr. Petty's comment, is that, we've historically not had issues with our research and development programs. And we have to, I think, meet a $750,000 threshold in order for those to be considered major programs. So we have a history now of not having issues with R&D, with TRIO, and now with financial aid. And Dr. Francois, this is a great accomplishment, right? And so now, we expect it to continue forever, right? You've shown that you're able to meet the standard and actually exceed the standard. So, we won't get too bent out of shape if there is something else that pops up in the future. But thank you for the attention to detail. With that, are there any questions? Then Mrs. Pritchett, I will yield to you to talk about any of the outstanding audits or agreed upon procedures and what we should expect next.
Thank you, Trustee McKenzie. I appreciate everyone's support with the audits, all of the trustees, and Dr. Ross for his support and oversight as we proceeded through the audits. And I would also like to thank the finance team. I think I have Sarita Strada on the call with me. She
Thank you.
oversees all of the audits, so I would like to address her because she has published all of the audits so far that you mentioned: the financial statement audit, the single audit, the Trust for Educational Excellence. We should have WDAS published today. We should have Title VI agreed upon procedures published today. And within the next week or two, we should have the NCAA agreed upon procedures published. And all of those are under her oversight. And as you stated earlier, I would also like to thank Student Affairs, Dr. Francois, for finding free audit and financial aid, as well as the ORSP team, Dr. Petty, and the sponsored research team with academic affairs for continuing a finding free audit on the single audit side of things. That's where we are with audits. You should get 2 more reports completed today. So maybe by Monday, I will provide those to the president.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pritchett. And thank you. I do appreciate your recognition to Sarita Strother, because I think it's important to also say this is your first cycle as VP of Fiscal Affairs, right?
Second.
Oh,
well,
this is your
as I was interim. I'm sorry.
Officially, right. That's
Officially,
right.
Yes.
That's right. So, everybody, the team is stepping up, and it is to be recognized and noted. So thank you all. It's appreciated.
Chairwoman McKenzie.
Yes, ma'am, President Dillard.
Chairwoman McKenzie, I'd just like to thank you for your leadership on this. And we can't say enough about how we feel about the audit that we have at Alabama State. I know you've been on the board longer than me, but this is the very first time that we've had 0 findings since I've been on the board. And so I'm elated. Kudos to everyone, but especially to financial aid, because as we all know, especially now, we need to really be on top of everything. And so we just can't say enough thanks to the president and the university for just the accomplishments in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I move to the next agenda item, Dr. Petty, I had asked you a question earlier, maybe off the record, related to the research dollars, and I think you wanted to just share some additional information.
Yeah, I do want to give, and thank you, I want to give a better depiction of what it's going to take to get to R1. Currently, I stated in the last meeting that we are a research college and university, and that means that our expenditures had to exceed, our research dollars had to exceed $2.5 million. In order to get to R1, we have to exceed $5 million in the research expenditures, in addition to graduating a certain number of research doctorates. Our research doctorates currently, we have the PhD in ELPL, and we also have the microbiology program. Our OTD will be considered as a professional doctorate, along with our physical therapy programs as well. So when we think about Focus 2030 and what our goal was to reach $3.7 million in research spending. But I will, caution us, because of everything that's happening with the federal government and happening with our federal grant, it may be a little bit more complicated for any institution, not just Alabama State University, to reach that milestone. But we are doing, and again, we are a collaborative team. We do what we can to try to reach our goals.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Petty, for the clarification. And it just really underscores, while we do have these separate and independent committee discussions, how the conversations, kind of weave amongst them. And the key word you said there was the collaboration amongst the team to get things done. So thank you for the clarification.
Thank
The
you.
next item on our agenda is the president's expenditures. Ms. Pritchett, do you want to go through those?
Yes, I will. Sarita, can you share? Can you all see her screen? I can't.
We can.
Okay, well, if you can see it, that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the president expenditures. The first chart is showing you a historical view of the president expenditures from 2018 to 2004. And as you see, they are decreasing right now. And as of fiscal year 25, if you go to the next screen, Sarita, he has spent $4,887 to date. And you can see the purpose off to your far right. So not very many expenses for the president for travel. And that's all, Trustee McKenzie. Any questions?
Well, thank you. I think that just means that President Ross's time is in such demand that others are willing to pay his travel for him to make
That's,
it there. Because I know that he is traveling more than $4,000 worth at any given moment. So it speaks to his character, his leadership, his impact on the higher education industry and community. Because I know he's a sought after leader in that space. Trustees, are there any questions? Anything else that needs to come before this body? Hearing none and seeing that Trustee Ware is still with me, as is Trustee Edwards, I will
Yes.
entertain a motion for recess at the call of the chair.
I so move.
Second.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It has been moved and properly seconded that we recess at the call of the chair. Roll call vote, President Ross?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, for your kind words. Chairwoman McKenzie,
Yes.
Trustee Edwards,
Yes.
Trustee Gore, Trustee Means, Trustee Ware.
Yes.
Motion carries, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you so much. We are recessed. Thank you so much, trustees and everyone at the administration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Trustee.